What doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. A lesson Airman Ken Corgliano learned the hard way.
I failed my first Air Force fitness test in officer training.
It was in that moment Corgliano gained a new outlook on life.
And it was really embarrassing to me to have failed my fitness test. So that really motivated me to never, ever not be fit, and also in the rest of my life to be ready for anything and be prepared.
Corgliano's fitness level continues to soar to new heights, which eventually landed him a spot on Sylvester Stallone's Ultimate Beastmaster show.
It was the hardest experience I've ever had in my life because there's so many elements that I'd never encountered before. Cameras and lights and timelines and celebrities and the amount of talent that showed up there was incredible, and I was just I'm a guy that types on the computer all day. You know, what could I possibly do against all these guys?
Corgliano put his heart into the competition, earning the nickname Air Force Ken.
My last name, it's pretty tough to pronounce, so some of the announcers were just like, okay, you're Air Force Ken now. And I really like that, though, because it lets everyone know that I'm not a professional at this. You know, I'm serving our country. You know, I'm a father. You know, I'm a husband, I'm a son, I'm a godfather. You know, I'm just like everybody else.
Having recently made Shreveport Bossier his home, the elite obstacle course racer is always looking at ways to better himself and those around him.
I'm hoping to be part of the community and have the community be part of me. And I'm hoping that I can bring my skill sets and my energy and benefit those around me. And that's whatever else happens out of that, I'll be happy as a clam.
Spreading love, reminding others to never give up.
It's okay to fail. Failing is a learning experience. It's the motivation behind the failure. So instead of getting disenfranchised, empower yourself. And you need to find a reason to reach that goal, and that reason has to consume you every day so that it makes you wake up with the fire in your stomach. That's really the missing link, and the process to get to that goal has got to be fun. If you have those three ingredients, you'll succeed.
Marie Waxel, KSLA News 12. There's not a corner of the Northwest Louisiana Veterans Home World War II veteran Olin Wise hasn't explored. Which means when they quarantined his wing due to a flu outbreak, the 99-year-old veteran wasn't too happy.
We're in a turmoil now, and I'll be glad if it ever gets over. I don't hurt nowhere, I don't. The only thing wrong with me is from here up, my eyes. My voice is getting weak, and but outside that, I'm fine.
With that being said, Wise was able to break free and spend time with me in their library, sharing stories of love and war.
I've never smoked, I've never drank, I've never cursed.
Growing up in Alabama, Wise got his first job with the Civilian Conservation Corps, or CCC, as a cook.
I told him, I said, I made biscuits till I run out of bricks. I said, what do you do with bricks? I said, I put them on them biscuits, keep them floating away.
A few years later, Wise decided to follow his older brother and join the Air Force.
Older brother was at Barksdale, and I couldn't get in the Air Force there. I went to Orange, Texas. I couldn't get in there. I went to 3 or 4 places. I couldn't get into service.
Why couldn't you get into service?
I had a sinus trouble.
With a little persistence, he got in, and like many others, started his career in San Antonio before eventually getting orders for Guam during World War II.
On the way over to Guam, we got our ship was sideswiped. We ran head on to another one, I guess, and it sideswiped it, and it took everything off of the side of the ship, and went on into the Guam, and I stayed there the rest of my time, but I don't know how long that was.
But there is one story he'll never forget.
It was warm there year-round, and we was out there swimming, carrying on, you know, and I heard a couple of guys hollering, help, help. Looked up, and they had floated off out into the ocean, so I said, let's go get that guy. And they said, no, that's dangerous water. So I went myself, And I brought one of them in, but I couldn't bring the other one in. He drowned. But I saved that one guy. And he was bleeding pretty bad because he'd been cut up on them coral rocks, you know. I was so shook up, man, I didn't want to see nothing. I just went back to my barracks and stayed there. And I don't know who this guy was or where he was from. I wish I'd have got all that information, but I didn't. And all I know is I saved him and went back to my room. And then it's just so routine from there on.
Wise stayed in Guam until the war was over.
Kitchen in the military is a good place to be, because everybody, every Tom, Dick, and Harry come on something.
Yeah.
And
these hands spent nearly a decade feeding his fellow airmen. After his time in the Air Force, he then traveled the country as an electrician.
And I was here and there and here. Wherever the work was, that's where I went.
His older brother then told him he could get him a job if he came to Bossier.
I never was at Barksdale, but my brother was, and he was taking me around and introducing me to a bunch of people, you know. And I saw this one girl over there, and I said, I think that's what I'm looking for. She was a good-looking young lady. So we got to go in together.
And they went on to spend the next 72 years together in Benton.
If I had my life to live over again, starting from that day that we said I do, I wouldn't change a thing.
Olin Wise will turn 100 on Friday, a milestone made possible by faith.
Trust my faith in the saving grace of my Lord Savior Jesus and asked him to come and live within my heart, and he has done that. And I've just lived a straightforward life, and that's what I recommend.
A piece of advice 100 years in the making. In Bossier, Marie Waxel, KSLA News 12. Bullets raced down range as each airman took aim from the line, firing at their targets.
Right two should put you right here.
Chances are you won't find an airman on Barksdale who hasn't gone through Security Forces combat arms training, a small piece of the puzzle designed to meet readiness requirements.
It's broken down by their specific needs as a career field. Some career fields only deploy or fire for deployments or PCS if they're going overseas. It just depends on the career field, what they do and what the need is.
Staff Sergeant Jamie Farmer initially joined the Air Force with a generic focus on security forces or base law enforcement.
I'm the resident gun nut. I love firearms, shooting recreationally and such, and just seemed like a good fit for me.
So he took his training to the next level and qualified as a combat arms instructor.
I tend to be a little more focused on specifics and details, and teaching that to other people and get them to understand their weapons that they may rely on with their life eventually. I like being able to be useful like that.
Farmer is only one of a handful of instructors on base responsible for training an estimated 3,500 airmen a year, accounting for roughly 800,000 rounds.
We get them through in about 8 hours, a little over 4 hours of classroom, right around 4 hours on the range. Between the different courses of fire, it takes a little bit of time.
This particular class focused on the M4 carbine.
It is the standard basic weapon that almost everybody is going to be qualified at some point in their career, and it'd be the main primary weapon they would carry home station or downrange, depending on their duties.
Each airman must complete specific tests to qualify with their weapon. Farmer says high reps from different positions help build muscle memory.
High stress situation, people tend to lose track of checklist items, things like that, but if they get good enough just running through the motions, being able to do it, then that might save their life.
Critical engagement skills necessary for combat success. At Barksdale Air Force Base, Marie Waxel, KSLA News 12.
Help them declutter when they accumulate so much stuff to the point that they can't handle it. Then we come in, we handle it for them and make it easy for them so they have an easy peace of mind.
He served his country, now he's serving our community. A Minden native has turned his passion for recycling into a small business. And as KSLA News 12's Marie Waxel explains, it's all about those veterans helping other veterans.
After 32 years in the Army and Army Reserves, Wendell Bonner now sees a different kind of combat. These days, he works towards ridding the Shreveport-Bossier area of junk, helping people reclaim and reorganize their lives.
Some of these people can't find help anywhere else. And a lot of companies will not go in and do the stuff that we do. So we go in and we help those people. And my team, my wife and I, and then we have a team of 3 or 4 more people that come in.
This is J-Dog. My help, sir, man.
3 years ago, Bonner brought J-Dog junk removal and hauling to Northwest Louisiana.
During that time, work was hard to come by. So, and then that transition from the military to the civilian world was a lot easier because you're doing it the military way all the time with J-Dog.
The franchise empowers veteran entrepreneurship, allowing owners to serve customers the way they've served their country.
For me, it's a sense of pride, it's a sense of you are giving back to the community. It's the same thing you did in the military. We gave back to the country. Now we give back to the community. And it's a way of helping, and you can't help it no other way. If I was just to come out the military and just do a regular job, I wouldn't be able to help anybody but myself.
Bonner takes items that can be reused or resold and either donates them directly to people in need, or he resells it and gives the money to his church in Minden for their charitable work.
Why do this?
Because that's community service. And then I think we are put here to help people that cannot help themselves. If you are in a position, if you have the fortitude, if you have the body and the mind to help people, then you shouldn't sit at home and not do anything, but you should go out and help those people. And they're just a God-given gift.
In Shreveport-Bossier, Marie Waxel, KSLA News 12.